Yo and hello everybody, Mike here, baseball collector. Today is Wednesday. You know, one of the things that I enjoy so much about this hobby is how every single person collects just a little bit different from the other. We're not all robots. We don't all collect the same things. And actually, it would be very boring if we all collected the same things. And different things mean differently to different people. And you know, what's a priority for me may or may not be a priority for someone else. And I bring all this up because I got a comment the other day on a video, and I actually can't find it anymore because I wanted to show it so that I didn't misconstrued his comment or misquote him, but I can't find it anymore. And I'm worried that he deleted it because I think he was worried that he offended me. First of all, I have very thick skin. It is hard to to offend me, and it's hard to defend me too. But I certainly was not offended, and you know, he made a point. It was a conversation, a comment conversation that I cannot find anymore. But the gist of it was him basically asking, "Hey," he was looking at my 1977 Hall of Famer run. He's like, "Why would you spend money on these low grade cards? Why would you go out of your way to do that? They're off center, they're this, they're that. You know, I only have maybe twice as many cards in my collection as you do just in that 1 year, like his whole collection. I only buy 8s and 9s and 10s of superstars, Hall of Famers, whatever, rookie cards, key rookie cards, this and that." I said, I'm thinking to myself, that's interesting. He goes on to say, and again, I'm paraphrasing because I'm trying to do it from memory, but is it a PSA thing? Is it a PSA addiction? It just seems like such a waste. And I've actually had comments like this from numbers of people throughout the years. Like, why would you spend X dollars on a slab, $15 for a slab version of a 25-cent card? Many people have asked that. And that's essentially what this guy's asking. And yeah, the answer is yes, I am addicted to PSA. I've admitted that and owned that for a long, long, long time. I'm not ashamed to say it either. Absolutely not ashamed. I love collecting that way. It means a lot to me to have things the same way. The consistency within my collection, the desire to complete different runs of Hall of Famers' careers and different years, and all of that is what I enjoy to collect. Is it potentially a waste of money? Maybe. To some people, that might be true. I have all the cards. What's funny is I have, especially all the 70s and 80s stuff, every card that I buy in a slab, I already have raw in the set because I have all the sets. So then you might say, well, then if you own it already, Mike, what's the point of buying it in a slab or getting it slabbed yourself? And the answer is simple. It's because I want it that way. I wish I had some, genius, well thought out, emotional response. And the simple truth is that's just how I like it. That's how I want my cards to be. And while someone doesn't understand the desire to own a 86 Don Sutton in a PSA 8 or 9, then don't buy it. If that's not for you, fine, don't buy it. But it doesn't mean, and I know all the comments are going to be like, you shouldn't worry about this, you just do you. I get those types of comments all the time when somebody is critical and like, you shouldn't sweat it and all that. And it's not that I'm sweating it, honestly. I'm going to keep collecting the way I do, no matter what someone puts in the comments. I don't care. But I do want to be, I want to clarify, because I want to make sure that, hey, if you have a legitimate question, and that guy's question, his comment was a legitimate comment. It's a fair comment. And I just want to answer it. And mainly to be respectful to him, because maybe he doesn't know. Maybe he hasn't watched my videos and know why I do this. And he says that he did. I asked him if he had watched my videos, and he said, yeah, I've watched a number of them. And then part of me says, well, then why are you asking? You should know that I just don't care, right? It's not a money thing for me. If I only collected for the money, I would only buy, key cards and super high grades. I just don't. I just want to own a nice slabbed example in a PSA slab example of that card from that set to complete that run. Cards that most people normally would not give two craps about. I want. And so, yeah, that's the answer to that. In fact, you're going to see examples of that, and I'll explain it. I've got 3 cards I'm going to show that came in the mail today that are going to be great examples of the way I collect, the way I think, kind of, continuing off the video I did the other day when I talked about where my collection was headed and all that. So hang on one second. Let's flip this around and I'll go through some more stuff and show you some cards. Hang on. All right, here we go. 3 cards that most everybody would say, why do you even care? And I'm going to tell you why I care. The first one is this, Tony Perez, 1983 Topps, and a PSA 8. Big, hairy deal. Quarter card anytime you want to buy one on Sport Lots or ComC or whatever. You can buy these all day for a quarter probably. I haven't looked, but I would guess. And this is an 8, near mint to mint. So to me, that's if you have 83 Topps, that's the condition you should expect them to come out of the box, is in 8 condition. Everybody thinks they're entitled to 10s, and that's a bunch of malarkey, really. But I had this on my list of my 4 decades set, trying to get every Hall of Famer. I needed this Tony Perez. My expectation on my spreadsheet was that I could spend $30 on a 9. That's what I found. Basically, I knew I could spend, if I wanted a 9, I would have to spend about $30. Or I bought this 8 at auction for $16.24. So to me, again, having a nice example of the card is more important than this part. I want this all part, and I want the card. That is, there you go. It's an 8, which is still a great card, and I paid half of what I'd have to pay for one more number grade. No, thank you. I mean, now you could argue, why would you pay $16 for this card at all? And okay, maybe a fair point, but there you go. There's my Tony Perez, 83 Topps. Next up, another example, 84 Donruss Jim Rice. I'm doing a couple of extra sets. I'm doing an 89 Upper Deck, and I'm doing 84 Donruss, the Hall of Fame run, and I've recently just found a few. I've got a ton of 89 Upper Decks on the way. I found from one seller who had recently put them all up there. This does happen to be a 9, and it was a card that I could have, there's 10s for $30. I bought a 9. Why did I buy a 9? Well, because it was $12.59. So, yeah, that's why. Well, Mike, you should pay more, you should just save up and pay more for the 10 and get that. Well, that's one theory. That's one way to do it. And I wouldn't criticize someone if that's the way they felt about it, but I bought essentially both these cards. Got 2. I could have 2 really nice cards, a 9 and an 8, or I could just buy this one and a 10, or this one and a 9. I'll take both, thank you. And now I have them. So that is the way my mind thinks. That's the way my mind works. Agree or disagree, you're not going to convince me any different. You can try, I guess, in the comments, but it's going to be a losing battle for you, and you're going to waste your breath. Because I've done this for a really, really long time. It's not like I just discovered, I want to do this. No, it's been a long time. Okay, here's my favorite example. This card here, 1994 Bowman Billy Wagner. On the cusp of getting in the Hall of Fame just a few short weeks ago. His cards were crazy. I didn't have this card for my future Hall of Fame set. I do think Billy Wagner will be a Hall of Famer. Next year is his last year on the ballot, I believe. And then he might go, he was really close this year. I think he gets in next year. But what you'll typically see is a guy that doesn't get in, like Billy Wagner, his cards, tend to drop. And the thing going against that drop is the fact that this is just a very low pop card. There's just not a ton of them out there in any grade, especially 8s, 9s, and 10s. I think there's only 100 and, well, I can tell you, there's 147 higher than a 7. There's 6 7s, and then 147 others above that. You say, well, Mike, why would you buy this? Well, let me show you. I'm going to put it on the screen right now. So you can see there that I paid $4, whatever it was, for this card. $10.66 all in after tax and shipping. $10. And you can see that a 9, 2 grades higher, this is a near mint card, that's a mint card, goes for $127. That was the hammer price, so you add on tax and shipping to that, right? And you end up closer to $140. So literally for a 9, not even a 10, but just for a 9 of that card, you get, you pay significantly more. What's more important to me, having the card in a nice example and in a slab, or having a really high grade example? And I'm always going to choose this, especially when there's a giant price discrepancy like that. So for me, it's a no-brainer, absolute no-brainer. Now, what's also cool is, let's say Billy Wagner never gets in the Hall of Fame, and this card is more of a novelty than anything than a future Hall of Fame rookie card. Well, the reality is I've only got $10 into it. I didn't, put $100 and something into a card that ends up amounting to nothing more than a common, and doesn't have a lot of tremendous value down the road. If he does get in the Hall of Fame, is this 7 now worth $20? Maybe. I paid 10. Doubling my money is not bad if I ever decided to sell it. So I'm not, that's, at worst, I can sell it for what I spent on it. Probably even if he doesn't become a Hall of Famer, because some Astros fan will want a Billy Wagner in a 7 that's affordable at $10 or $15, And so, again, more inside the mind of Mike, whether you want it or not. But I am eager to hear comments. Believe it or not, I do read them all. I don't necessarily respond to them all because of the time, but I absolutely read them all. I appreciate everyone's opinion. I don't mind being questioned / criticized. It doesn't get to me anymore. Used to, doesn't anymore. And so, because I'm going to do what I'm going to do, which is what many of you would say, and haters be damned, whatever. But that is my 3 cards I picked up for my collection today. And thanks everybody so much for watching. Thanks for listening. We'll talk to you guys soon. Keep collecting.